Vranje is a town of the south, the sun and the moonlight, of awakening and beauty, dance and song, dirt and sevdah.
Dirt and sevdah are the words from Vranje dialect, standing for a special kind of sadness and sorrow felt by all people who lament the loss of their youth and strength. That feeling arises under the influence of passional music.
It is a town in which love smells of blossoming gardens, where barberry bushes whisper the secrets of incomplete dreams.
Vranje at its crossroad between the north and the south, the east and the west. It is a meeting place of different religions, cultures and traditions.
The moonlight in Vranje is magical. Nowhere does it intoxicate the way it does in Bora's town. It reflects a magical strength which makes love be more passionate and sorrow, even more horrible. In Vranje, the moonlight shines from the sky, but it seems as if emerging from the ground, so that the two beams of light meet in man and wake up every pulse of his body.
In the moonlight, dances are more reckless, songs are clearer, people get drunk without wine, lust is unbearable, and the heart is charmed.
Under the influence of moonlight in Vranje, the mind is blurred and dreams run away.
This town is special, unique. It is harmonious in its contradictions.
Man seems to be healthy, but sick from himself.
Everything is as it used to be, but different. All that is Vranje, my town, my support. The place I have to come back to even when I leave it.
Numerous legends and stories that are retold for generations have largely kept the Oriental spirit that is already felt at the very entrance to the city. Even the speech of the citizens of Vranje has kept spirits of its ancestors, which is transferred to the new generations and as such has found a place in many series and movies.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Minjam, and this is Bora's house. He was a famous writer, and he lived right here with his grandma, Baba Zlata. It was built around 1850, and it turned into museum in 1967. It's open to the public as a memorial house of great Serbian writer, Bora Stankovic.
It is built in the old Serbian style with a veranda and a first floor porch, with a large garden and a high wall toward the street. There was a guest room in every townhouse of that time. It was not for everyday use. It was usually the most spacious and most beautiful room in the house, always tidy and festively arranged, with a long narrow sofas along the walls and in an icon of Saint Nicholas, the patron saint of Stankovic family feast.
Bora Stankovic was born in Vranje in 1876. He was brought up by his father, mother, Granny Zlata, since he had lost both his parents very early.
In 92, he married Angelina Milutinovic from Belgrade and he had 3 daughters.
Our house was old, large, dry, huge, and it smelled of soot. Towards the street it was protected by a high wall. Asking what I'm drinking all time, let me introduce you Šljivovica. Anyway, I wanted to say something about my lifestyle. I think that everyone has to have a lantern in their head, to shine inside their heads, and who doesn't shine inside, he doesn't live. The lantern helps us to see better faces, objects, and what's going on. Lantern helps us to select, cut, tie every little thing into a picture, into a knit, to discover 100 in one life. Without that lantern, there is no word, there is no story.
The home or the kitchen is the central room in the house where the most of everyday activities took part in. It was the hub of family life and the place where they prepared food and dined during the winter. In the summer, all these activities were moved into the garden building, the summer home, where the 19th century dishes for everyday use are exhibited today.
The well and the mulberry tree, which was planted in Bora's childhood, still stand in the yard. Beside the mulberry tree, a hazel, a walnut, and the box used to be must in every yard of that time. And gardens used to be so carefully arranged and planted with flowers that their beauty was almost a matter of prestige among the people of Vranje.
Half of the 18th century, in the center of Vranje, two buildings connected by a suspension bridge were built.
The buildings were connected with a suspension bridge so that one could get from one building to the other without having to cross the garden. High walls protecting the privacy of Pasha's house from curious eyes that surrounded the whole estate. The gate was put up behind the harem look, which was used by the members of the household as a back entrance.
During its long history, this building used to be the first building of the high school in Vranje, a pupil of which was even the famous writer from Vranje, Borislav Stanković. His teachers were authors Rade Domanović and Jaša Prodanović.
Legend that was the town of the Serbian hero Marko Kraljević. When the Turks forced him to retreat, Marko on his horse Sharac jumped from that rock onto the mountain east of that rock. People say that the trace of the horseshoe can still be seen in the rock.
Wells were the most visited place in the town. They were places of love, friendship and good news. Nothing happened if it was not talked about at a well.
Machkina Česma is located in the valley of Vranjska River. The whole quarter was named after the well. There is a legend saying that the Turk built this well to repent a sin. He felt sorry for a Serbian mother that had lost her 3 sons. Her husband left because the Turks were after him. The woman was left alone with her cat waiting for her last days. She had a golden string. Which her father-in-law had given to her. In her great grief, she tied the string around the neck of her cat. After that, Turks killed the cat to take the string, and the woman died of sorrow.
Vranje, just like Verona, had tragic lovers. Their names were Aisha and Stoyan. They lived in the time when the Turks were ruling in Vranje, and they had to seal their passionate but tragic love with death.
The beautiful Aisha was the only daughter of the wealthy Selim Beg. Lonely and always hidden from the rest of the world, behind a high wall, she listened to the Stoyan's pipe, who would pass by every morning with his ship. Through the slightly open gate, she watched him pass by and go to the mountains.
Neither could Stoyan be indifferent, and so they began dating secretly. Soon the people in the town began gossiping about the forbidden love between the Turkish girl and young Serb. The stories, of course, had to reach Selim Beg.
One day Selim Beg followed her. He found them by the river. He aimed at the boy, but the bullet hit Aisha, who wanted to protect the boy with her body. The other bullet hit the boy.
That is not the end of the story. The wanted Aisha, before closing her eyes forever, made her last wish. The money for her dowry was to be used for a bridge to be built at the place where she used to meet Stoyan and where they were killed.
The father fulfilled his daughter's last wish. He built a bridge in 1844. That bridge is called the White Bridge, and it connects the two sides of the Vranje River. There is a board with an inscription in Arabic and Turkish on the Bridge of Love. This bridge shall be called White Bridge. It shall be of good use to people.
O you keeper, the owner of this goodness and beauty, Hanuma Aisha had this bridge built so that God might forgive her, her sins, and the sins of her parents.
This is our school.
My school is named after the famous writer Bora Stanković. It was established in 1881 and it is one of the oldest secondary schools in Serbia.
Bora himself and many other important Serbs spent their time in these classrooms, either as students or as teachers.
We have many subjects and numerous activities and projects. Last year, over 90% of our students entered different universities.
It is proud. It is successful. It's friendly.
To come to Vranje and not to stop by in Brankova Street and drink coffee in one of the many cafes is an incomplete experience, so your visit to Vranje can start here. The street is full of people and is the center of the social life of Vranje.
Goodbye, come to visit us.